Hello everyone, welcome to our next lesson video. This is lesson 3. Now, before we move on to lesson 3, you need to understand everything that we talked about in lesson 2. So if you either missed lesson 2 or didn't really understand everything in lesson 2, make sure you go back and rewatch or watch lesson 2 before moving on to lesson 3. All right. So in lesson 2, we talked about quite a few things. Mainly, we talked about reading music notes. Okay. We talked about quarter notes, which is worth 1 beat. We talked about quarter rest, which is also worth 1 beat, but you don't play on it. And we talked about a pair of eighth notes, and that pair is worth 1 beat, but you tap on it twice, or you play on it twice. 1 and. Now remember, it might not always be 1. It could be 2, it could be 3, it could be on 4. It depends on where it is in the measure. All right. So I'm going to teach you something new today called sight reading. We're going to be sight reading every day from now on, or every music lesson that we do, every drumming with Mr. Hodge Lesson video, we're going to be sight reading. All right. Sight reading is when you take a piece of music you've never seen before and you try to play it as best as you can on your first try. You usually get a few moments to look it over. But after that, when time is up, you play through it as best as you can. All right. Here is our first sight reading exercise we're going to do. All right. 4 measures. All right. You're going to get about a minute to look this over to make sure you understand the counts, and then you play it. All right. Now, remember, when you have eighth notes like right here, don't play it all on one hand like this. 1. You want to play it alternating. So, not. Okay. So since it's your first time sight reading, I'll start you off. I'll tell you the first 2 beats. So beat 1 of measure 1, that's just a quarter note. You're going to play and say 1. Okay. Next, you see a pair of eighth notes, 2 partners. So you're going to say and play 2 and. So if you put that together, the first 2 beats of this song is going to go 1, 2, and. All right. That's all I'm going to give you. I need you to figure out the rest. All right. So I'm going to give you about a minute to look this over. And when time is up, we're going to play it together and break it down. All right. Remember, on your quarter rest like this one, you don't play on it, but you whisper its number. All right. So I'm going to give you 1 minute to start looking it over, starting right now. Oh, all right, time's up. Let's go ahead and take this slow. Whenever you sight read a piece, you never want to take it super fast. All right, you want it nice, slow, and steady so that you're playing each beat, each rhythm correctly. All right, here we go. All right, remember, start on your right hand and always alternate. Okay, here we go, taking it slow. Count out loud and play it. 1, 2, and ready, here we go. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. All right. So that's our first sight reading piece. Once again, if you didn't understand this, go back and rewatch lesson 2. All is explained in lesson 2 when it comes to reading these notes. All right. Now, we also talked about another warm-up in lesson 2, and that was a warm-up called 8 on the hand. It's called 8 on the hand because you're playing 8 eighth notes or 4 pairs of eighth notes on one hand, on each hand. So on your right hand, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and you go straight to your left. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, and then you go back to your right, do it over and over. Remember, no pausing in between it. It should sound nice and even. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and like that. All right. Now, remember your form. Remember everything we talked about. Wrist flat. Your sticks making the mountaintop. Tips close together but not touching. Hovering above the pad. Hand mouths closed. No T-Rex arms. Shoulders relaxed. Okay, and keeping the tempo. Now, when we do this, I'm going to have the metronome going. All right, to make sure that we're staying in tempo. Hopefully, you have on headphones. Make sure you're sounding and playing with me. All right, I also want you to count and play. All right. So here's 8 on the hand. Here's the tempo. Wait for me to say ready, go. All right. 1, 2, ready, here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Left hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Right hand, back to the right. 2 and 3 and 4. To your left. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Left. 2, 3, 4. Back to your right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Left hand. Get ready to stop. And stop right here. Okay? So when you hear me say get ready to stop, I'm going to say and stop right here. You play on your right hand and that's it. One tap on your right hand. That's how we're going to end it. Okay? Make sure your strokes are nice and even. And remember, the hand that you're not playing with, don't have it hovering up in the air like this. Keep it low to the pad. All right? Let's do it again. Let's speed it up. 65 BPMs, beats per minute. All right? 1, 2, and ready. Here we go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Left hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And switch. 1, 2 and 3 and 4. Left hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And right. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Left hand. 1, 2 and 3 and back to your right hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Left hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to your left. 1. Get ready to stop. Ready, stop right here. Okay, cool. So that was 65. Let's get a little faster. Let's go up to 70. All right. Now remember, the best way to practice this is on a pillow. Stroking through the pillow. All right. Keep your form. Let's do it. Here we go. 1 and 2. Ready. Here we go. And right. And 2 and 3 and 4. To your left. 1, 2 and 3 and back to your right. 1. Make sure you're counting. 3 and 4. Left. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And right. 2, 3, and switch. Left. And 2 and 3 and 4. Right hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and left hand. Get ready to stop. Ready, stop right here. All right, not bad. Let's do one more set. 75. Keep your form, keep it smooth. All right, last one. Here we go. 1, 2, and ready. Here we go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and left hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and right. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 left. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 right. 2 and 3 and back to your left. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 right. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 left. Ready to stop? Ready, stop right here. Okay, so that's 8 on the hand. You want to practice that as many times as you can every day, getting faster and faster. But don't go any faster unless you have it clean and steady. All right, so that's our recap for today. Let's go ahead and move on. All right, so let's go ahead on to Act 2 of this video, all right, or this lesson. We're going to go ahead and introduce 16th notes, okay? 16th notes. This is going to be another note type that we add to our collection. So far we know quarter notes, we know quarter rest, we know eighth notes, and now we're going to go ahead and add 16th notes, okay? So here is a screen showing what 16th notes looks like. okay? Now, if you look closely, this is a set of 4 16th notes, okay? This is a set of 4 16th notes, all right? This one set of 4 16th notes gets one beat, all right? So if we look down at this yellow box again, we have our measure. Then you have your time signature, tells you how many beats you're allowed to put in. Top number says 4, which means once again, we can only put in 4 beats, all right? So this set of 4 16th notes gets one beat, which means how many sets can we put into the measure? 4. We could put in 4 sets of these 16th notes, all right? Why? Because 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 4, all right? So we go ahead and slide these sets of 16th notes into the measure. It's going to look like this, all right? Here is beat 1 of 4 16th notes. Then here's beat 2, 4 more 16th notes. Here is beat 3, another set of 4 16th notes. And here is beat 4, a last set of 4 16th notes. Now, once again, you see we ran out. Why? Because you can only put in 4, all right? So we have our measure field of 16th notes. Now, if you count each separate note head, you'll notice that there's going to be 16 total. That's why they call it 16th notes, because 16 of them can fit. They take up 1/16 of the measure. All right. So I'm going to show you this screen of this one lonely set of 16th notes. All right. Now, I'm going to tell you the syllables that we say for 16th notes. It's a little tricky, all right? So if you look at this set of 4 16th notes, you see you have 4 of them. The first one right here, this is going to get the number. So in this case, 1. The next 16th note is going to be E, all right? Lowercase letter E is going to be the symbol for E. The third 16th note in this set is going to be and. There's the plus sign again. Remember that plus sign means and in music. And then the last 16th note at the end is going to be and the symbol for is the lowercase letter a. All right. So you put it together, you get 1 E and all right. 1 E and That's what you say for a set of 16th notes. If you play it, it sounds like this: 1 E and Now remember, it might not be on beat 1 all the time. It might be on beat 2, which means you would say 2 E and It depends on where the set is located in whatever measure you're reading, all right? So if we go back to this screen with all the 16th notes, I'm going to go ahead and play for you what this entire measure would sound like, okay? Filled with all 16th notes. It would sound like this. Ready? Here it goes. And 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and okay? That's how you would play a measure full of 16th notes. Once again, if you want to play 1 beat of 16 notes, it sounds like this: 1 E and If you want to play 2 beats, 1 E and 2 E and okay? So that's how you play and say 16th notes. Now remember, with the quarter notes and eighth notes, I showed you the Pokemon way. You know, for quarter notes, you could say Mew. For eighth notes, you could say Squirtle. All right? Now, the Pokemon you could say for 16th notes is this one right here, Pidgeotto. All right? So, Pidgeotto, 1 E and If you do the whole measure with just Pokemon, it goes like this: Pidgeotto, 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 Pidgeotto. Regular way in numbers: 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and Make sure you're playing what you're saying, okay? Don't just play wild and go 1 E and 2 E. No, don't do that. Doesn't make sense, all right? So those are your 16th notes. Now, let's go ahead and show you an example that has 16th notes mixed in with all the other notes that we've talked about right here, all right? So here is our first piece of music that's going to have 16th notes, okay? Now, let's take it measure by measure. All right, measure 1. We have on beat 1 your 16th notes. So that's going to be 1 E and all right? Beat 2 is easy. That's going to be 2. Beat 3 is just going to be 3. And on beat 4, you have a rest, okay? I'm going to skip measure 2 because measure 2, we should be able to play that from lesson 2. All right, let's go to measure 3. All right? Now this time you see another set of 16th notes, but it's not going to be on beat 1 this time. It's actually going to be on beat 2, because if you see, there's a quarter note in front of it, and that quarter note is beat 1, because that's the first note you see in this measure, measure 3, after the single bar line. All right? So measure 3 will go like this. 1, 2, E, and a 3, 4. All right? And then once again, measure 4 is easy, so I'm not going to break that measure down. All right? So let's see if we could play this together, taking it very, very, very slow. All right? Now, before we do this, let's make sure we understand how 16th notes, 8th notes, and quarter notes are related in terms of how they sound. Quarter note is just going to go, okay? 8th notes, 16th notes, okay? Quarter note, 1, 8th notes, 1, and 16th notes, 1, E, and up, okay? Let's go ahead and play this song straight through, measure 1 through 4. 1 and 2 and ready, here we go, E and a, 1, E and a, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2, E and a, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right? So there's your first sight reading piece or a piece of music that has your 16th notes in it. All right? 16th notes can get really tricky, especially if you're not keeping your tempo. Okay? So in Act 3 of this lesson, we're actually going to learn a new warm-up that has 16th notes in it. All right? Let's play this measure. Let's play this piece of music one more time. All right? So you can understand how the 16th notes work. All right? Let's try it again. From the top, measure 1. Ready, and a go, E, and a. 1, E, and a, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, E, and a, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, on those rests, make sure you're not playing it and make sure you're whispering its number, okay? So those are 16th notes. Don't forget, there are 4 of them, but they come in a bunch and they are worth 1 beat when you have them bunched together, all right? So let's go ahead and move on to learn this new warm-up. All right, everyone. So before I show you this warm-up for Act 3, there's a little exercise that I want to show you real quick. All right, it's really simple. All right, I like to call this exercise our note pyramid. Our note pyramid, because it stacks and stacks different notes on top of each other, starting from the longest notes up to the shortest notes. All right. So if you look on the screen right now, you see 4 measures. Really simple. All right. And measure 1, you see 4 quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Measure 2, you see 4 pairs of 8th notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right. And measure 3, you see 4 sets of 16th notes. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. And in measure 4, you see 1 quarter note with 3 rests. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. This is going to help you differentiate between the different types of notes that we've talked about so far. So I'm going to play through this straight through so I can show you what it's supposed to sound like. I'm also going to have the metronome going. All right. So here's what it sounds like. It's 1, 2, ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 8th notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 16 notes. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So that's how the notes are related to each other. That's how they flow when you put them all close together. All right. Let's try that again. 1, 2. Count with me and go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. Okay? Once again, that's called our note pyramid. You can also do this in Pokemon. Check it out. 1, 2, ready, and Mew, 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 Mew. Squirtle, 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 Squirtle. Pidgeotto, 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 Mew. Okay? So that's your note pyramid. I want you to practice that as many times as you can and slightly speed the tempo up. Just a little bit. All right? Let's play it one more time, just a little bit faster. A little bit faster. All right? Last time from the top. 1, 2, ready, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. Okay? Now remember, when you're playing these notes, especially the 8th notes and the 16th notes, make sure you're not just playing it all on one hand like this. 1 and 2. No, not for this exercise. All right? Alternate. That means when you have your right, play with your right hand, immediately play with your left. Back and forth. Okay? Cool. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about, now we're going to go ahead and talk about this warm-up. This warm-up is called single strokes. All right? And it's really simple. Here's what single stroke looks like. All right? So, in the first 2 measures, you have all 8th notes. Now, if you look underneath, you see an R with a line, and then you see an L with a line. When you see R, that means to play all of those notes that red line goes under with the right hand. When you see that it switches to L, that means you switch to your left hand. So let's break it down measure by measure. Measure 1 for single strokes. 8th notes, all in the right hand. Here's measure 1. Ready, measure 1 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? Measure 2, same thing, except you play them all in your left. Ready, measure 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right? Measure 3 and measure 4 are all just 16th notes, going in both hands, right, left, okay? Here's what measure 3 and measure 4 sounds like, all right? Ready, here we go, E and a, right, left, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E. Measure 4, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 and a, 4 E and a. Now, if you notice at the end, you have those dots. That means to go back to the beginning and do it again. You do this over and over and over and over. Now, you have to practice this warm-up with a metronome. You want to make sure that your notes stay nice and even, okay? Here's what it would sound like with the metronome. This is at 55 beats per minute, all right? Here we go. 1, 2, ready, here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Left hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and here. 16 notes. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 and a 2 E and a 3 E. Do it again from the beginning. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Left hand. 1, 2 and 3. Now 16 notes. And 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Get ready to stop. 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and stop. Okay? Now you can do that as many times as you want. I just did it twice just for the sake of time. But you want to keep practicing that and making sure your 16th notes are even. All right? You have to remember everything we've talked about since lesson 1. Wrist flat, mountaintop, tips not touching, tips hovering above the pad, no T-Rex arms, shoulders relaxed. Okay? And just play through that warm-up a few times. All right? Once again, it's really good if you play that one on the pillow also. Okay? Let's do it again from the top. This is our single strokes warm-up. Next lesson, we're going to dig deeper into this warm-up and actually push the tempo. All right? But for right now, we're taking it slow because we're just learning it. All right? Here we go. Single strokes again. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Left hand. 1 and 2 and 3. 16 notes. Ready, go. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 and a 3 E. Back to the 8th notes. Right hand. 1 and 2 4 to your left. 1 and 2 and 3 and 16 notes. 1 E 2 E 3 E 4 E 1 E 2 E. Let's do it one more time from the top. Right hand, right and 2 and 3 and 4 to the left hand. 1, 2, 3, 16 notes. Go. 1 E 2 E 3 E 4 E. Get ready to stop. 2 E and stop. Okay. So that's single strokes. That's 2 exercises we went over for Act 3. Rhythm, note pyramid, and single strokes. All right. So keep practicing. Make sure you watch this video a few times. As a matter of fact, it's always a good idea to start from lesson 1 just to make sure that you have everything tight. Because starting lesson 4, the level's going to go up a little bit. All right. So it's going to be a while before I release lesson 4 because I want you to make sure that you have the original trilogy tight. Okay. So make sure you keep reviewing, keep practicing, and just do your best. All right. So that is the end of lesson 3. As usual, keep practicing. I'm very proud of you all. I love you and keep doing your best. All right. Peace. Wait. Don't go yet. Don't go yet. Oh, sorry. Oops. Okay. If I have to tell you something, all right? Drumming with Mr. Hodge video series. We're having our first ever giveaway. What am I giving away? You may be wondering. I'm giving away these brand new, fresh pair of sticks. Haven't even been used yet, not even opened, and practice pad. All right. Well, this is a box, but the practice pad is inside. Well, anyway, so I'm giving these away to a lucky student. We're going to have a sight reading contest. More details are coming in Drumming with Mr. Hodge lesson 4, which will be dropping in about a few days to a week, maybe a few weeks. Okay, so don't forget, tune back in next time so you can find out how to win these sticks and pad, but the pad is in the box. All right. Whew, my bad. Almost forgot. All right. Keep doing whatever it was you're doing. All right. Peace.